the Raven Lounge was the first place I tried to do stand-up. I showed up to the Raven Lounge, and what was crazy when I showed up, it was their 2-year anniversary of doing stand-up at the Raven Lounge.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sign up. I had to sit there and watch the showcase show. And I was like, fuck.
Was I on that?
No. The only person I recognized on that was Matt McCusker.
Yeah.
McCusker won Rookie of the Year that night.
Okay.
And then, Foley was there, Cassidy, Conrad Roth.
Yeah.
And Cotton. And there was like a few other people. Oh, Joe Mayo. Joe Mayo was on that show.
Goodness gracious.
Dude, it was it was just like such a motley crew of doing stand-up. And I remember being like, this is and then we all of them hung out and we all got hammered. And it was like, yeah, I'm definitely coming back here next week.
I know this was like almost a decade and a half ago, but it bothers me I wasn't booked on that show.
It was crazy.
And part of me is like, dude, who booked it? Why wasn't I on that show?
Text Foley right now. I was actually thinking about something from 13 years ago. You fucking piece of shit.
You motherfucker.
How could you not, dude, just bringing that up out of nowhere? We're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Finally, the Raven Lounge is closing. I can bring this up now. The statute of limitations is way off on this. I can get nuts. And it's that was the first time I witnessed stand up there, and then I went back the next week, and then, dude, that was I would say, it's weird to say life changing. Mm-hmm. That was a life changing thing. It changed my life.
Yeah,
which is that's the first time I'm saying that out loud. That going to the Raven Lounge changed my life. Into what it is now. It is very crazy to think. I just had that revelation. Are you getting emotional right now?
Are you getting emotional?
No, I'm not getting emotional. What I am doing is recognizing. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about it before.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. And if it wasn't for the Raven Lounge,
you wouldn't be the man you are today.
I don't know if I definitely wouldn't have the herpes that I have today. I know that. I definitely wouldn't. If it wasn't for the actually, more I think about it, I kind of blame the Raven Lounge. The more I think about it, I kind of blame the Raven Lounge for giving me a lifetime communicable disease. Thank you so much for that.
Give a herpes, take a herpes.
Yeah, it was definitely in the slot. I want. There's got to be other people. That would be a fun shirt. I think I did suggest that too when they were printing out these shirts. I did suggest I went to the Raven Lounge and all I got was this lousy STD. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm like, John's like, no, we can't. Have fun with that.
To be perfectly honest with you, the Raven Lounge probably had its own strand of herpes.
Oh my! It's called Chirpies. it's avian herp, dude. Yeah. What'd you get? It's like, we got the only place in town you can get this. Yeah. If you were, it's like we're waiting for the class action lawsuit for like a commercial. Like if you were at the Raven Lounge anywhere from the you may be like entitled. What the fuck?
It's the least treatable version of herpes. Out there.
You cannot get it. There's nothing you can do. Once you got it, you got it. Yeah. And actually, the funny thing is, you can only pass it on to anybody else who's been there. You can't spread it. It's like the only way you got it is if you were there this one night. Yeah. And that's definitely a possibility.
You'll have this herpes in your next life. Yeah. You're going to be reincarnated with these herpes.
It's reincarnated. You come back as a worm, you've got the herp, dude. When they say it's forever, it's forever.
It's the strongest herpes.
You can't get rid of it. They don't even make drugs for it. They're just kind of like, you got to deal with it. They didn't even try. Like, this is beyond our control. We're not doing this anymore. Yeah. It was a very gross time.
These herpes were born during the Big Bang.
It actually goes 1 millisecond, the universe, second herpes shows up. It's like, and it's moving faster than light. You can't get away from it. Yeah. It is a tidal wave.
That is crazy to think about. Like, if the Big Bang spawned everything,
Sure.
Like every STD, like every
Everything.
STD exploded into
Out of there.
existence.
It was just like, oh, I have to blame everything on the infinite of the universe.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Did you ever? I'm sure you have, but have you ever had that time when you were every time you have to contemplate what is the Big Bang?
Sure.
You know, and the older you get, you can revisit it and you can come at it with a new angle.
Sure.
Right. And you know, like the debate about whether or not God exists or whether it's science.
Sure.
You know, it's like, the Big Bang was like, well, who didn't spark the Big Bang? Who snapped their fingers and made the Big Bang?
Got ya.
And then you go through that one time of your life when you're like, was the Big Bang like God coming?
Oh yeah.
Was it the big jizz?
Was it the big spray?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know what, that'd be such a romantic thing. I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. Don't get me wrong. I think it would be great to find out that there is a divine creator. Only if you find out that the divine creation was an act of just beating off in a corner somewhere.
I mean,
if you were like, oh man, he's created everything. We're all his children are all made in his creation, but really he's like, honestly, I was really horned up.
Yeah.
And I was or I was just bored.
Yeah.
And I was just beating it, and I blasted in this corner of the known universe, and it just it just started happening. You guys are cum.
Yeah.
You guys are all God's cum.
Because you would think, like, because we can't wrap our head around what it is to be a celestial being.
No.
Like, we come life. Like, why wouldn't
he become?
Why wouldn't
life?
God come?
And it makes you wonder
All of
how
life.
many what cum were we? You know?
Like, were we the fastest swimmer?
No,
or the slowest swimmer?
I'm just saying, how many times, let's put it this way. You came and you made life.
Yeah.
How many times have you come without making life? How many times have you come into something and discarded it and threw it away? Think about that.
Okay, so you're imagining that the Big Bang had to be fertilized.
I'm just saying, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying is if God was jerking off and then maybe he came into a celestial napkin and then threw that away.
Yeah.
And then this one was like, he just came and he was like, oh, I'll clean it up later.
Okay.
You know,
I see what
like,
you're saying.
Which cum was it? We were not were we an intended cum?
Yeah.
You know, were we a accidental cum? You know, like or just a forgotten cum? You know,
I think they're all forgotten cums.
oh, we're definitely God's forgotten cum,
Yeah.
which is a great T-shirt as well. God's
Yeah,
forgotten.
God, forgotten cum.
I think that's if you're gonna look at it like that, there may be a possibility that if there is a divine being somewhere that has made the entire universe, you have to take in consideration that if they made this universe, were they responsible for other universes? And was this universe not as intended as another, or was it like, like, I'm pretty sure people, even when they have children, they favor a child. You know what I mean? Sometimes they favor a child more than another. What if God's making universes and this was like I totally fucking forgot about that one. I've been working on this other one. I've been coming over here for like years.
Yeah.
And this one I was on the road. I just blasted over here.
Okay. Well, let me walk into this explanation.
Sure.
So, one, I have 3 kids.
Sure.
I don't know if I favor any child, but I will say this: the older my kids get, the more I favor their mother.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'm like realizing, because my son's like a teenage boy. He's in that stage where like he's trying to figure out how to not do chores, how to like lazy it up every chance that he gets.
I get you.
You know, like he was out there doing yard work when you got here, but he was mostly just sitting down.
I saw.
Right? It's like that. Like I'm going through that now.
Dude.
Like my son's.
I get it.
My son's at the age now where when I come home, or if I just like go into a room and I see him just chilling, it pisses me off. Dude, I've never want to fight him
Let
more.
it go. What are you talking about?
It infuriates me so much to see this, because he wants to be doing that. He wants to be not doing anything else. He wants to be not doing chores. He wants to be he wants to be under the radar. He wants to be under the radar.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm looking around. It's like all the stuff that should be done before you sit and chill. Like I'm seeing all this shit. Dude, I want to scalp him. Like every single time, I like there are things there are features about him that he doesn't even cherish yet, and I want to take them away from him. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll see him chilling, and I want to poke out his little green eyes.
Parental threat I've ever heard in my life. There are features about you that you don't even cherish yet, and I will take them away.
Dude,
that is the most maniacal thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's the most authentic thing I've ever said.
That is wild, dude.
It is. I cannot explain to you. It feels like my head is
disfigure you.
That's what I want to do.
I will make you a mutant,
dude. Like imagine coming down because he's almost 13. He'll be 13 in a couple weeks.
Wow.
He's almost 13 now. So he's not like a little boy anymore. He's basically like a cherubic man.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Like he doesn't have a mustache yet, but
he's officially a teenager. He's not in his teens. He's going to be a teenager. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, I guess.
So he's closer to being a man than he is to being a child.
But he's also a child.
He is a child, but when he's like sprawled out on the couch,
sure,
you know, like barefoot, it's just like, I don't even know why that bothers me. That he's not. Dude, put some socks on or something. I don't want to see your bare feet in my house.
What are you doing?
And then
put on shoes.
And then he's taking up every cushion on the couch, and I'm like, whatever. I'm ignoring that, and then I go into the kitchen. And I see dishes in the sink.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, this motherfucker. Who does he think he is?
I think, Sidney, he thinks he's a 12-year-old kid. I think it.
No, well, then he and I have to have a discussion on what it means to be a 12-year-old boy from my perspective. Because we have...
From a man in his 40s. I'm going to tell you what it's like to be a child.
Yeah.
Growing up in the digital age where your brain is being bombarded by images that I couldn't even perceive as I was your age. I can't even get around it.
But that's the part that bothers me is like, dude, you know this is going to bother me.
Sure.
Keep me out of your life by doing shit.
Yeah, I respect that. I respect the, you know what? If I don't want to be hassled, I got to do this just to shut people up.
Just keep that off my back.
Yeah. What's going to shut you up? I've had that that ideology for a very long time. For the longest time, it was, I remember, you know, my mom and my dad getting in an argument. This is when I was like maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember my dad was coming to pick my younger brother and I up, and they were in an argument on the porch. And for what I have no idea. But we got in the car and we're driving, and my dad was like, you know, he's like, everything I do, I'm just trying to keep people from giving me shit. Yeah. He's like, that's what I do. He's like, and maybe I fuck up. And my dad was the king of fucking up. He fucked up all the time. But he did say this. He was like, man, he's like, what can I do to make you happy? That's really what it comes down to. What can I do to make you happy? What can I do to make you happy? If I cannot make you happy, what can I do to shut you the fuck up? What can I do to shut you up? And I remember thinking, even as a kid, I'm like, that is an amazing philosophy. What can I do to make you happy? I'll do anything I can do. Yeah. But if none of that is working, what can I do for you to stop giving me shit? What can I do to shut you up?
And I think that's a good. You adopt that early. That's your first. That should be the first thing you do when you start to become actualized as a person. Yeah. Like, how can I get my mom and dad to just shut up and leave me alone?
Leave me alone.
Right? But you can't take that into your adulthood because you're always that close to the shit.
Oh, yeah. No.
Do you know what I mean?
So, okay. I get what you're saying.
So as an adult, you have to go above and you have to learn eventually to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And keep me far away from the shit.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, how do I keep this person off my back? Well, the person is like already almost on your back. You're keeping them from like getting their hooks in.
Yeah.
You know, they're on your back.
Sure.
They're just not choking you yet.
So you think if your son did the dishes, like, or made like a valiant effort to do so. Now, are you gonna? Here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if he does the dishes, but he doesn't do them well, where does that? How does that? How does that screw?
Then he didn't do the dishes.
Then he didn't do the dishes.
Like we don't like a job like. The job, in order to consider the job done, it has to be a certain level of quality.
Sure. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that didn't, like, I remember when I was around Finn's age. So then you have to, like, I remember my mom was like going to give us chores.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was like, man, this sucks. Like, I got to do laundry. I got to do this and that. And I got to wash dishes. And a friend of mine was like, yo, just do the dishes really wrong one time or a few times, and then she'll never ask you to do them again.
Dude, why do kids think that works?
That did not work. My mom stood over me and and then she's like, all right, take them out. Dude, I did the dishes. Yeah. I put them on the drying rack. My mom took them all out and put them back in the sink. Like, you're doing them again.
I've done that.
And I was like, fuck. And I immediately recognized the error of my way. I was like, motherfuck.
Yeah.
Talk about shooting myself in the dick.
So one of the pleasures as a disciplinarian to children is that you get to like spring it on them.
Sure.
When you want to. Sure. So what I do now, if he doesn't take the trash out and put it like to be taken, I'll wait until he gets to sleep. You know, and I wait until,
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I wait until like he's sleeping, and then I enjoy my time. I don't even anticipate this.
Sure.
I'm gonna wait till I go upstairs. You know, when I'm ready to go to bed now. So now it'll be like 1:30 a.m. and I'll go wake him up.
Hey,
and I do it very peacefully. Like, hey, my guy, my man, come on, wake up, buddy. Come here. Hey. He'll be like, hey, what's up, Dad? I'm like, hey, what's up? I love you, buddy. And he's like, I love you too, Dad. And he'll like go back to sleep. And I'm like, no, come here. You gotta go take the trash out. He'll be like, all right. And I'll lay back down. I'm like, yeah. No, wake up. Hey, buddy, you gotta go outside and take the trash out. Go put your Crocs on. I go
put them Crocs on.
And I go, my feet are ready for bed because I did everything I had to do before I came up here. Man. You have to go outside now. Go get your Crocs on. Go get out of bed and get your Crocs on. And I will give him this. He does think it's funny still.
Sure. I mean, that is a fan. See, that's the thing though. How many times has this happened?
3. Yeah.
Do you think
two times with the trash and 1 time with the dishes?
Do you think there'll be a 4th time?
Yes. He is 12. So
I will
be a 4th time.
I do think though. I remember. So after my mom made me do the dishes five times.
Yeah.
Like I remember taking them out, doing them, and then like as soon as she told me to do it again, I was like, I see where this is fucking. Like I was like, motherfuck. Yeah. So I did them like, and I mean, I washed and put them back, and she was just like, you're gonna learn. This sucks. I remember after that, anytime I was asked to do dishes, I was like, I gotta do this, so I do not hear about whether or not I did them.
Yeah.
The whole thing was like, if you do something, that was another thing too. Like, if you do something correct the first time, you don't have to hear about it. And no one even knows that you did. You're just like, my whole thing is like, I'm going to do this so I can do something else that I don't have to be hassled about. And one of my biggest flexes too was when I was a kid, where like, you know, not only my mom, but like even when I started working when I was 14 years old, jobs I would have, they'd be like, hey, we told you to do. I'm like, it's already done.
Mm-hmm.
It's already done.
I
did that already. And just be like, I'm doing this now. And it's just like, just having them be like, oh, well, I'm like, yeah, well, how about you walk away now? How about you stop giving me shit?
Dude, I remember it went from my mom, you know, hounding the manner in which I cleaned the dishes, and then one day I went above and beyond.
Dude,
like super above and beyond. Cleaned the dishes, wiped the counters, wiped down the tables, swept the floor, like got stuff off the wall next to the oven. Like you know where
I know exactly
spaghetti sauce splatters
how it
on the
gets
wall.
there we don't know.
Got all that off the wall, cleaned the oven, the stove top, and my mom came and she was just like, "Oh my God, you did this?" And I was like, "I did this."
Yeah.
And then she invited people over, bragged about how I cleaned up, you know. It was like you know, they were our family, but it was like,
see this house? It only took me getting cummed in once to get it like this. Yeah. I only got blasted in one time, and look at this place. I did it.
Yeah,
yeah. I will find though, especially when I would work in like bars and restaurants and shit like that, going above and beyond. The problem with that, or one of them that I found, was once you do something well or well enough a certain amount of times, you'll be expected to keep that level of that all the time.
You can't be afraid of that. That's what I keep telling my son though.
So
you can't let that discourage you.
I understand. And I appreciate what you're saying from an individual perspective. But when you're working on a team and you're not there the whole time, and you're not there certain days, and then you go in and then you're constantly playing catch up with people who couldn't do what you did or won't do what you did, and then you're going into a disaster, like a worse than you left it. That is where you're like, fuck, man, I should have. And clearly, not only is it worse than you left it, no one's getting shit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, I'm just going to do this because it makes because I don't want to be bitched at to do it. Like whether or not you're doing, it's like, dude, it's one thing I remember too when I was working at a grocery store. A bunch of menial jobs I've had.
Yeah.
When I was working at a grocery store, one of a better piece of, and again, it sucks because like if I want something done, I'm just going to do it. Like if something needs to be done,
which should be the way that it is,
but it isn't for a lot of people.
It isn't, and which is why I'm always telling Finn, it's like, dude, all you have to do is be one step above retarded in life.
Sure,
and you can succeed.
It is very true. However, I will say that the one step above retarded is great. But the way that pendulum swings back to retarded ability that people can exploit, it's a very wild door. Yeah. One of the things that I was told when I started working in a grocery store, this guy named Paul, great dude. I remember there was one day I was helping unload a truck full of frozen food, and like, you know, I'm busting my ass to like move it around because like I'm like, let's just get this fucking done. Like I have a bunch of other shit, and Paul was like, hey, he's like, you want some piece of advice? He's like, when you start working at a place that involves like, you know, physical labor or like something to that point, he's like, never let them see that you can lift more than you weigh. Because the moment they see that you can lift more than you weigh, that's the moment they will ask you to do all that all the time. And he was very, very right.
Yeah.
The moment they saw that I could move a heavy thing, not that difficultly, not that, and put it where it needs to be, they were like, oh, we found the guy who will do that.
Yeah.
We found the guy, like, if there's anything that needs to be moved, anything that needs to be clean. Dude, I was like, fuck.
You know, that's how black guys ended up dating fat white women.
Oh.
Like one black guy, like in the 70s, just moved one.
And they were like, fuck.
Black guys. All right. They'll move them.
Oh, my God. You know what? If we get all these white women in one place, all these fat white bitches in
most of the time,
spot,
we're not even dating them. We're just displacing them.
Yeah, we're just
relocating white women.
There's a whole stack of them over there.
When you stack them on top of each other, you have to make sure the edges line up.
You got it, or they will topple over. They will. You got to put the biggest one on the bottom. It's got to be weight distribution. You got to make sure it's evenly weighted.
Yeah.
You got to lay it.
Do you think you could win a white woman stacking competition?
Possibly.
Let me ask you this question: Which women do you think you could stack the best?
Stack the best?
Yeah. I know who I'm stacking.
Which women I can stack the best?
Yeah.
Korean women.
Ooh, you went a different direction.
Korean women.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, but you got to stack them as high as you can.
I understand.
That's the point.
Do I get a ladder? Keep in mind, Sidney, I'm only 5'6".
Yeah. You only have the tools you need to go higher. Like,
sure.
But you have to carry her up
sure.
the ladder.
Yeah. Korean women.
Yeah, Korean women.
Korean.
But how high do you think you'd be able to stack Korean women before they start toppling? They'll blow in the wind.
Sure. What I will do is this that I've found.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're stacking, especially this comes from years of working in a grocery store.
Uh-huh.
So you put the heaviest at the bottom, sure.
All right.
But then every
The most coveted, by the way.
Very
A plump Korean woman.
The foundation is.
Kidding me?
Come on.
Yeah.
You need that.
That's the rarest Pokemon
That's
out there.
the keystone of that wall.
That's Mewtwo.
You need it. So what you do, or at least what I found, especially when you're stacking something pretty high, or at least high enough, what you do is you stack the heaviest, and then you work lighter, but you keep it relatively in that same, within the same weight.
Like 1% less.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then in like every fifth one, you stack something a little bit heavier to weigh that down. And then you stack on top. You're like laying another foundation in that. And then it's also about turning. It's also about turning. It's almost like you have to turn one way and then stack another way, stack another. You can't they don't marry all the way together. It's almost like playing Tetris.
Okay.
Believe me. And I think with stacking Korean women, your job's only going to get easier as you go higher.
Now, how are you stacking them? How are you connecting them?
So I think what I'm going to do, biggest one on her back.
Just laying down.
Laying down on her back.
Okay.
On her back, because what you don't want to do is put too much stress on knee and elbow on that big one. Because once that pancakes out, then the whole structure is automatically. Automatically. So what you do is big one on the back, second one over top. So she'd be laying horizontally or vertically, and then that one be laying across her. So
like a cross.
Yeah, like a cross, basically, but over the top of the belly. And then the other one, you do that. You kind of make it like a pie, like an.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, you do that, and then what you do is when you find that fifth, that pin, the heavier one, you lay that maybe even as long as it's all lining up the right way, you lay her on her back.
Yeah.
So then you have a sandwich. That's what I think.
Okay, so you're going to get a lot of Korean women.
I know.
Height.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, but that's the whole thing. When you start stacking them, that foundation, you're not going to need that many more on the top. That's the whole thing. You have a very thick foundation, and all the ones that you would put in that middle part, they're going to be lighter. You can just stack them on top of one. I think that's the best way to go.
Man, I'm stacking Samoan bitches.
That's impossible. How many do you think you're going to be able to stack? Honestly,
dude, I'm if I given a not an uberly generous estimation, I think by myself I could stack probably 3 or 4.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Definitely 3.
The biggest one is going to be easy. That's just a trip.
Just have her just sit.
Just
sit. Yeah.
Sit. But the two other ones, I think what's going to happen is just because that one is bigger, that doesn't mean that one isn't stronger. You know what I mean? I understand where you're feeling, but imagine, say you're 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Now imagine 300 pounds on top of you. Does it still suck? It's still 300 pounds.
Yeah, but I'm going with I'm going with that height to weight or weight to strength ratio that is stackable.
I understand.
I'm not going to stack any Samoan bitch.
You're thinking about the Amazonian.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to show it when they show up to the stacking audition.
Sure.
Not everybody's making the cut.
They're going to be.
You know what I mean? I got to weed some of these out.
You're just hitting the X button no. Stackable bitches.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine you should put that on a leaflet on a telephone pole. Are you a stackable bitch?
Are you stackable?
Would you consider yourself stackable?
I bet more women consider themselves stackable than there are stackable women.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If you were no, we're only looking for the stackable ones.
Yeah.
They'd be I'm stackable. Look, I don't know if you are.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years you will be stackable. If
you need strong bones to be stackable. A lot of women have bird bones.
Oh, yeah, those hollow bones.
Yeah, Korean women. Hollowbone.
Here's the thing
women.
with the Korean women, though, they are more. I think they're more flexible and more fluid. Those Amazonian ones that you're talking about, I don't think they're gonna go the way you want. I really don't think they will.
See, so my technique is to stack them a little bit away from a wall and then kind of like lean them into the wall.
And I respect what you're doing too. And that was where my other question was going to be: are we stacking them just straight up freestanding?
Yeah.
Or are we stacking them up against a wall? Because up against a wall, that's all bets are off. You don't need a.
Well,
you're trying to make a leaning tower of pussy.
But it's too. And I've been for years trying to create.
You're gonna
this.
take pictures of it.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna try to take some photo ops with that. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But I do. Honestly, I stick with Korean women. I stick with Koreans.
Dude, what you should do? The answer should have been some sort of Eastern European women. They stack themselves.
Sure, but that's too easy.
Yeah,
that's not even a challenge. Those stackable Eastern European women.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it.
They be stacking.
They be stacking.
They be stacking.
That's how they walk around, stacked on one another, dude.
Yeah.
It's impossible not to stack those bitches. They are just stackable bitches.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
I still cannot get over the idea that the reason why black guys started dating thick white women is because they were the only ones that could move.
They're the only ones that could lift them up.
Yeah.
It's like I guarantee somebody was like, man, we got too many of these.
Yeah.
We got to move them.
Yeah, we got to move them out of the way so we can see the thin white women.
And there was one guy like, oh.
Yeah, it was Wilt Chamberlain.
And he was doing it.
He was palming
And they're like, whoa. Damn, we found it.
We found him.
We're just going to make other black dudes do that. And
Yeah.
our life is going to be exponentially easier. I just think that, yeah, when it comes back to to round about back to your son, I think he's going to learn. I don't think you're doing anything disciplinarily wrong. Mm-hmm. I think the way you're going about it is probably correct. I think it'll benefit him in that. But I do think it's going to take time because there is going to be certain things where, you know, you're going to become front. Because like I was for a long time, like you would go to work and you'd try to do your job correctly, but then you're surrounded. You have to understand when you work a job, you're part of a team, mm-hmm. but then you realize that there's only certain team members that will pull their own weight, you know, and
you adjust for that.
You do.
Yeah.
But if you can't control work, you can't, I don't believe you can really teach ethic.
Yeah.
I think if you're like, I'm going to do like I think that's like a instinctual thing, like is like a hard work ethic.
Oh, I don't know. Because I feel like every boy goes through a phase where they're lazy as fuck.
Sure.
Right? And eventually you realize that good things happen to you when you put in the proper effort.
Sure.
Now you have to be a person that, do I want those good things, or am I willing to accept less good things so I can put in less effort? And then what do you prioritize more?
All right.
The quality of my outcome or the effort of my input?
Sure.
So what do I want?
Yeah, but I do think when you go to the laziest fuck, I think it's lazy as fuck with certain things. I think, you know, is your son lazy as fuck with every aspect?
No. He's just trying to avoid chores.
Yeah, and I get it. Chores.
It's just he's doing that teenage boy thing where he's trying to avoid chores.
Chores are boring and dumb, and I get them. But my I guess, you know, when I was a kid and I had to do a bunch of shit, I looked at it like these dumb chores are my key to getting to doing dumb shit with my friends. These dumb chores are the key to me doing actually what I want to do. I think that is the key.
But also, what's missing from him is that he has kind of he has like a decent life and he lives in a decent neighborhood. Sure. Like I grew up in a bad neighborhood where I was like kids were like overly sexualized way too early in life.
Sure, yeah.
So very early in my life, it was like if I can do things well, girls might touch my penis.
Understandable.
He's not even thinking about girls touching his penis.
That's crazy.
Like He's about to turn 13. I lost my virginity on my 13th birthday. He's about to turn 13.
You know what you need to do? Wake him up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, come downstairs, unstack these white bitches, and fuck one.
Hey, you forgot to fuck these white bitches. Put your Crocs on. What, Dad? Yeah. What?
Oh no, you got to pick her up and put her in your bunk bed.
It's going to be hard at first.
Yeah.
Well, you get it. Yeah, I do think that you are right in the way that I wouldn't say he's living he's living a comfortable life, which is good. He's
comfortable. Which
I think that's the aim of every parent.
Up until 11, it was my aim. Up until you see your son living a comfortable life, and you're like, yes, I have changed the circumstances of my legacy.
Sure.
Right? He is living a way better life than I lived at his age.
Very
he just, dude, there's something about, I think it was you know what I think it is? When he's going through puberty, obviously, but he's at the point now where he can smell now.
Yeah, he stinks.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't even have to smell him. He's just over there just looking like he smells. He just sprawled out on my couch. You look
like you stink. Yeah,
dude, you look like you're getting your funk all over the couch.
Damn, that is.
And you didn't earn that.
Yeah. That's not earned funk.
You didn't earn that.
But you can't control the unearned funk.
Listen. The funk that he generates in his body, that's technically earned, whatever. But for him to be able to put that on the couch, on both sides of the couch at the same time.
I see.
You can put your funk on one cushion at a time. Yeah.
Only after
per sitting.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You cannot be putting your funk on every cushion of the couch at the same time. Dude, that's a fighting gesture.
I mean, it is crazy that you come home and it just smells like puberty all over the fucking couch, and then you find out your son's just like, no, I didn't do anything today. I just stink.
Dude, so let me tell you this. This is crazy. This is when I realized that I have to rein it in. I have to I have to rein this in. This is not what I say. Okay, so downstairs, and he's funking all over the couch, right? And I'm trying to okay, don't nitpick everything right now.
Sure.
So I let him go. I had him busy all day, and now he's funking all over the couch, even though some of the things could be picked up on the floor. Why is this living room so messy and you're comfortable just laying in it? All right?
Yeah.
So I'm letting it go, and I pick some stuff up. I sit down on the couch. I'm sitting down on the couch with the girls. Ansley comes home, his mother, my wife. She comes home, and he gets up, and he goes to her and hugs her before me.
Oh, no.
And dude, in my imagination, I grabbed him by the back of the head and just pulled him to the ground. Do you know what I mean? Grabbed him. I reached over his head, grabbed his face with my hand, and just pulled the back of his head to the ground. Stepped over top of him like Allen Iverson did Tyronn Lue, and then just hug my lady. But dude, the idea of him thinking that it was okay for him to get up and go to my lady before I did pissed me off. Dude, it bothered me so much.
Chill. You get your funk all over my fucking lady.
Yeah, you better not get dude.
Oh man,
she better not smell like you,
dude. What if she got your funk all over her?
And then Ansley, she's not here all day watching me steam at this guy.
Sure.
And then she's just hugging him, and she's so excited that her son came to give her a hug when she came into the door. And she's like, "Oh, my little guy, my little guy." And I was like, "Stop calling him that. Don't give him little nicknames right now." It bothered me so much.
That's where you got to go up and be like, hey, come with me. We got to take trash out. Dude, you got to hide trash in the house. So you forgot to take this out, dude.
I've been doing that. And so when we finish, I'm going to ask Ansley if she notices that I'm doing this. So since that day happened where it pissed me off that he hugged my lady before I did.
Sure.
Every time I see him cuddling with his mom, I make him do something. Like, go take the recycling out. Go see if the dishes need to be done. Go advance the laundry. That's a new phrase in the house.
Advance the laundry. It's not even a thing. It's not even a thing, dude.
But you need
calibrate the fridge, Finn.
Dude,
Get in there.
When you have kids, you have to drill. You have to use terminology that they can't finagle around to do nothing, right? So I can't just say, "Hey, go take the clothes out of the washer, put them in the dryer," right? Because then it's like you got to also take the clothes out of the dryer, put them in the basket, fold the clothes in the basket, put those clothes that you just folded in the drawers. Because if I go, hey, take the clothes out of the washer, put them in the dryer. If there's already dry clothes in that dryer, they're going to put those wet clothes in that dryer and start to, like, that's how kids are. So you have to use terminology that gets all the things you want done in the fewest amount of words. So you say, advance the laundry. Right? Because now you have to do, every stage has to be advanced.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Dude, that is the most proud hack that I've had in like the last month or so.
Advance the laundry. Look, I can't say that's not an ingenious way.
It is fun.
It is.
You should hear the way Ansley says it. She goes, advance the laundry, kids. It's time for you to advance the laundry. It's fun.
Can you enhance the toilet, please?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're onto something.
Enhance that.
Can you go upstairs and enhance the bathroom?
Enhance the Enhance the bathroom.
Yeah.
Making the bathroom enhanced. Its bathroom is very enhanced.
And that way they can't like do a half-ass job and be like, I'm done. It's like, no. Is that bathroom enhanced?
Yeah.
Is that an enhanced bathroom? Or is it the same bathroom with just a couple things picked up?
You know, another thing is evolve the bathroom. Make it take it to the next evolution.
Well, you can, hey, go evolve your breakfast. So
evolve your breakfast.
So that was another big thing for this summer, is that all summer long they have to make their own breakfast.
Oh yeah, all right.
So I sat them down. Like my twins are 9, my son's 12, and I sat them down, and this was the discussion I had with them. I go, listen, Finn, you're 12 now. Girls, you're both 9, so technically you're the same level of maturity.
Mathematically speaking, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So all summer you're making your own breakfast now. You have to start taking charge of things, right? And my one daughter loves it.
She
loves taking charge of things. So the reason why they're setting up that yard sale right now is for my youngest kid, my young daughter. This summer she's become an entrepreneur.
All right.
Like so on my birthday, June 17th, I come downstairs. She gets up early in the morning. My kids have to do like a workout and like a workbook and like these things in the morning. So she gets up early so she can get a workout out of the way. She can do all her vocab stuff out of the way. And so I come down. She has a birthday card that she made for me. Oh. She woke up. She did her workout. She did all of her academic stuff. And then she made me a birthday card, right? She gives it to me. She also makes a sign that she puts at the bottom of the stairs and tapes it up on there. Sure. It says "Happy Birthday, Dad." So it's the first thing I see when I come down the steps. And you know, her and I are just like having like a lovely little morning, and I'm so happy with all the things that she did. And
Ainsley comes down and is like, "You need to go advance." Actually, go advance the laundry, please.
Yeah. So she goes, "You know what? You know how Finn and Cora hate making birthday cards?" And I go, "Sure." And she said, "I'm going to make a bunch of them, and I'm going to sell them to them for $1." So then she went and then start mass producing birthday cards for me in a bunch of different styles. and she sold them to her siblings. She basically she started a Hallmark business.
How much money did she make?
Well, what happened was neither one of them had the money.
I was just going to say, how much money did you give your children to buy cards for you?
So she bartered.
Oh.
So instead of money, each one of them would have to make her breakfast for a morning going forward. And I think my son, who is a terrible negotiator, because he's just trying to get what he wants.
I get it. Yeah.
He ended up having to make her 3 breakfasts.
Whoops.
And her sister only had to make her one. So no,
how does that happen? What the fuck? Did he get 3 cards?
One card.
One card, 3 breakfasts. That doesn't
Dude,
make.
He's a terrible negotiator.
It's not even negotiation.
Dude, it's not.
That's bending over backwards. What the fuck is that?
That's not even. Because again, this was instead of $1. He's like, psh, 3, because he's not thinking about the act of making the breakfast. He's like, dude, I get to keep my money? You kidding me? Yeah, I'll make 3 breakfasts. So he ended up having to pay her 3 breakfasts in 2 favors. Dude.
Where did the favors come from?
Dude, she is a shark.
How did that get in there?
So I taught her a little bit of a negotiation tactic, right? I taught her sometimes the people don't have what you want. Throw in other lesser things and see if you can make a bundle. Like, just always try to bundle. Like, the same way if I'm selling something. So, like, I was explaining to her with this yard sale. So, people are going to try to haggle.
Yeah.
Right? So, if your price, say if the price comes down low, their price comes down lower than you want their price to come down to. And you want to keep it at this little bit of a higher price. So, keep it at your higher price and see what else you can throw in.
Sure.
For the deal. And so, she does that both directions now. She took to that and she was like, got it, say no more.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
So wait, okay. So Finn has to make 3 breakfasts and owes her 2 favors as well?
Yeah, I don't know how high it started.
I was going to say, what did she throw in with the card? What was it? Yeah, what was in the bundle?
It might have been negotiated.
What's in the bundle? This is what I'm confused about.
Well,
if he got fleeced for just 1 card, that's crazy to me.
She's getting the bundle.
Yeah,
yeah.
Man,
and
I am very concerned for your son right now.
So I came down. So they're all doing that. I'm gone. I come back, and my other 2 kids are giving me their cards.
Sure,
now.
But not their cards.
Not their cards. But no, they bought those cards.
Sure.
That was a legal American transaction.
You know what?
They bartered.
It's the thought that counts.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the thought that counts.
So this girl, when she makes their cards, she makes a bunch of different cards. She makes 5 different cards, and 2 of them she tried to make them in her sister's handwriting. 2 of them she tried to make them in her brother's handwriting.
Wow.
And one of them was just like, sure. I think it was the first card she made before she realized to do that. And my son hands me the card, and he's like, "Happy birthday, Dad." And I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh, he didn't take his sister's card. He made his own card."
Sure.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, good on you." And then his sister, the other sister, gives me her card. Look at her card. I'm like, "Oh, I guess she didn't take her sister's card either." And I'm like, "Thank you, guys. Thank you so much." And she goes, and the one that made the cards, she goes, "Yes, you're welcome for their cards." And that's when it dawned on me. And I had no issue with them buying the cards.
Sure,
I think that's a brilliant thing. Like, they don't like to make the cards, and they have a
way out.
I get it. Take the way out. But then I'm like, oh my God, she mimicked their handwriting?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It is crazy.
Sidney, you have a bigger problem here.
I was like, I've never been more proud of her. It was like, oh my God. And then and so before, I go, when did you guys have time to make these? And
what did they lie?
Yes. Yes. Which
what was Finn's lie?
he goes, "Oh, I don't even remember when I made it." And my daughter was
classic.
My daughter was like, how did she say it? She goes, she didn't say she made it today. And she was like, she goes, I put the finishing touches on this earlier today. Because she signed her own name.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's finishing touch.
So then I'm proud of the way that they're stealing valor, because they're doing it in a way where they're not actually stealing valor. Dude, it was my most proud parenting moment of like my daughter making their cars and then lying about it.
Something I whipped up.
Dude.
No big deal.
And so then they find out later on that the jig was up. Because as soon as Huntley told me early in the morning that she was going to make these cards and sell them to their siblings,
sure.
As soon as she went into the other room to make the cards, I'm texting Nancy like, "Oh my God, we have a little entrepreneur like Huntley," and I explained everything that she said. So then I showed her brother and sister the text that I sent to the mom with the timestamp on it, which was 2 hours before they gave me their cards. So now they know that I know.
Yeah.
Right. So
all right.
So
did please tell me that one of them stayed dedicated to the lie?
They couldn't.
Damn it.
They know better. You never fight. So this is why I was proud of them for not giving flat out lies.
Sure.
Right. Because you don't want to get stuck fighting for something, fighting for a lie when another person has all the evidence.
Sure.
That shows you're lying. So just try not to don't marry a lie.
How did they handle being exposed?
They thought it was funny.
Sure.
They thought it was.
It is funny. That is funny.
So the next day, Cora, the sister that bought the card, she made Huntley's breakfast, but she didn't plate it or something. It was like something, and so they were like arguing over that. Like, well, you gotta plate it. You gotta put it on a plate. That's part of making the breakfast. You gotta serve the breakfast. So then Cora's like, well, we never said anything about serving the breakfast. We only said something about making the breakfast. So they're having that battle back and forth. Right? My son, he's trying to get out of making the breakfast altogether. So on the second day, when he was supposed to make the breakfast, he wouldn't make the breakfast. So then Huntley had to take this dude to small claims court, which is me. So now I have to arbitrate this situation. And I have to arbitrate it because I'm trying to get them to have like an entrepreneurial mindset.
Sure.
I can't arbitrate this like a dad. I have to arbitrate this like an arbitrator.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what was the verbal agreement?
Straight up.
So now we're going through. And so at the end of it, it was like, all right, dude, you have to make her.
Yeah, you don't welch out on this.
It's like you lose. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry.
You
lost. You lost.
What did you learn?
You agreed to these things. And then so Huntley, she's feeling herself and she walks out of the room and is like, dude, but you don't have to put it on a plate. She never said anything about putting it on a plate. You just make the breakfast, leave it in the pan and walk out.
You were setting yourself up for so much more lawyer crap. It's crazy.
There's going to be a lot of lawyers.
You're like, I guess you need a robe and a wig.
Yeah, but I'm done. I'm done yelling at them. I told them the other day. It's like, listen, this is again with this summer too. It's like, look, I'm done yelling at you. You're 12. You're 9. You guys are all the same maturity level.
Sure.
You don't have to be in trouble anymore. I don't want to have to be yelling at my kids anymore. Like, and it was like the way I explained it to them was like, listen. I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful lady. I have amazing kids. And I don't care what you guys do. I'm going to enjoy my family.
All right.
You guys figure shit out on your own now.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
And now, are you worried that will backfire?
It hasn't backfired yet.
Because it seems like you've already been to some sort of court about it.
Well, the arbitrations so far, there was one arbitration about the food.
Sure.
Right. There was something 2 days ago where Huntley was claiming that Huntley is the entrepreneur, was claiming that Finn was being mean to her, and she came to me and was like, "Finn's being mean to me," and I'm like, "Okay," and she goes, "That's it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's it." Remember what I told you guys the other day? She's like, "No, I want him in trouble." And so I used the example of like Joker from the one Batman movie, and you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. And she goes, I go, "Huntley, I'm not gonna get him in trouble. Like I told you guys." And she's like, "Well, I'm mad, and right now I want to see the world burn." It's like, dude, it's not good. You can't want to see the world burn. And no. And I would say, listen, it's okay to want to see the world burn, but you can't actually try to make it burn. You got to be able to calm yourself down and not be a person that actually tries to burn down the world.
I mean, this just seems, Sidney, this seems like, I know you want a relaxing summer. I don't know if it's gonna work out that way.
It's not gonna be a relaxing summer. I know.
No, you've given your children not too much responsibility. I think they're gonna find like weird legal ways to pursue action against their siblings.
But I want them to.
I see that, but I think you are going to be exhausted with case after case after case you get.
I am, but
I think that's what's going to
They're
happen.
also so now that I'm not hawking and like settling all their disputes, and they have to settle them on their own. Because before I could come settle a dispute, and then they could like, "Oh, okay, we're good. Dad settled that. Like this is what it is now," and they can go back to playing now. But now I'm not settling disputes. There's like lingering animosity now. So it's like if you want that animosity gone, you have to go back and get some goodwill with your sisters again. So now that's what's happening. You know what I mean? So like it's actually they've been
Sidney, you were setting yourself up for a Knives Out family. That's what you were setting yourself up for. Dude.
It is.
You're gonna have a lot of weird twists and turns and shit.
But the weird side effect that I did not predict is they've been getting along better.
Oh, all right.
Because they have to now. Because I'm not going to fix it for them. So they have to fix it themselves now.
Well, I think your summer is going to be. I think you need. You know, it's funny. You have that nice workout space.
Mm-hmm.
That is slowly going to turn into a courtroom. You're definitely going to get a table. It's definitely going to turn into. You're going to be the most You're going to be litigiously Gantt. It's going to be crazy, dude.
I like it.
I know you like it, but
I like it.
I
feel like I have more power as a parent. Because now it's like, bring your grievance to me and I'll decide. Because before it was like they would just all get in trouble.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But now there's a winner.
Man. I think that I'm excited to see how this goes, but I don't want you drunk with power either.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest fear is now you becoming drunk with power.
What's happening though? Because the entrepreneur daughter, she's a menace. She was already drunk with power because she could get. She's willing, like I said, she's willing to see the world burn.
Sure.
So when they would bring stuff to me before, it was like, all right, you guys are all in trouble. No tablets for everybody. Blah 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 blah. Cora and Finn, they hate that.
Sure. Yeah.
Huntley is like, I'll sacrifice my tablet for a day or two so you guys don't also get to use the tablet.
Yeah, that's. I don't know, man.
Yeah. But that's taken away from her now.
Sure. Yeah.
So now she actually has to win her cases now.
Yeah.
And so the funniest case that she brought the other day. So her and her sister were like up on my bed and just like hanging out talking or whatever. And then they came downstairs and Huntley's like, Cora hit me. I'm like, why did she hit you? She was like, I don't know. I'm like, Cora, come downstairs. Your sister said you hit her. Did you hit her? She was like, yeah, I hit her though, but she told me that I wasn't allowed to be on the bed and she pushed me with her legs. And I'm like, Huntley, she's telling me that you told her she couldn't be on the bed anymore and then you pushed her with your legs. Did that happen? She said, yep. I'm like, so that's why she hit you? She goes, I guess. And I'm like, well, how did this even happen? Right? So what happened was, so they were on the bed. They were on the bed. And then Huntley, the menace, she goes, who's all in favor of me staying on the bed right now? And then Cora said, I'm in favor. And Huntley said, I'm in favor too. And then Huntley said, who's all in favor of Cora getting kicked off the bed right now? And Cora said, I'm not in favor of that. And Huntley said, I'm in favor of that. And she's like, you just got voted off. And then she starts pushing her with her legs to get her off the bed. And I'm like,
oh,
so
man.
It took like 20 minutes for us to get to that. Because I'm not letting them. So this is what I was doing. I was like having them one at a time in the room.
Sure.
And I was like working backwards, like Memento with the story. And so I would get one thing and then like get the other one to confirm that, like bring her downstairs. She said this, can you confirm that? And then I'm like, all right, now you leave. How do you think you got to this point from the step before? And then they would tell me the step before. Then I'd bring the other one down to confirm that. And then I'd send the other one away. Dude, and like we did that for about 20 minutes for me to find out that the one that came downstairs that said she hit me started all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And before, they would have both lost privileges. But now, I arbitrated it, and the victim was justified.
I appreciate that you're seeking justice. Dude, this is... this is just way too much work, man.
It's less work, Shaner.
I don't know if it is.
It's so much less work.
I appreciate you putting the time and effort into it, but in my head I'm like, how can I make you happy, or how can I shut you the fuck up? Oh my God! I think we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
We definitely declared war on children.
Without
a doubt.
On raising children.
On raising children.
I definitely declared war on raising children. They are raising themselves now.
Holy shit! What a twist and turn.
And some work stuff.
Yes,
some work stuff.
We definitely declared work on ethic.
Ethic.
We definitely declared war on ethic.
There it is.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think, there's going to be a lot of people who will listen to this I think they will, I don't know if they'll agree or disagree with what we said about work ethic. I think there's definitely going to be, I'm going to say 50-50 on this. I think a lot of people are going to be like,
yeah, because we didn't really like stand our ground on any one side of work ethic.
No.
We really just talked about, like, I don't even know if we really established what our own work ethics are.
No, you know what we did? We did enough to not have...
Our fans won't be mad at us. we shut up our fans. We did shut up our fans.
We either made you happy
keep them off our backs,
or you shut the fuck up. It was one of the two that we did there.
That's the name. Make them happy or make them shut up.
Oh my God. Man. Thank you for listening to World War Fun. I've been Ryan Shanner. This has been Sidney Gantt. Thank you so much. We will see you next Sunday with a whole new thing to declare war on. Thank you so much for listening. Later.